We're working on easements with that. We don't own that piece of property yet.
It depends on when all that happens. Because it involves that little piece at the end of East Mountain Road, connecting to it, doesn't it?
No, this is, that's what they call H Road right now, which isn't even.
No, I know it goes around Mountain Top, I mean Mountain Inn.
Right, yeah, so
But
Old
does it
Mill.
also connect in front of Mountain Inn, Mountain Green? Is that going to the resort right now?
And now, this goes, when you go down Old Mill,
Yeah.
when you turn in Old Mill, and you go past the Mountain Inn, you go past the distillery, and then right before Pinnacle,
Yeah.
it's in between Pinnacle and the distillery.
Yeah.
That then comes out onto
Right.
East Mountain Road. But it's not the driveway that's already there for the Mountain Inn.
Okay.
So it's a little bit further north of that driveway.
I was thinking it went through the driveway and then around.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's one straight shoot right between Pinnacle and the distillery.
This is why it's better to have a diagram.
That's what usually work.
Yeah, so, but anyway, that's what some of these meetings.
Could you send us a reminder of people, what they sent to you?
I've sent an email to Michael, he can read it.
He
Tons of names.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
it.
okay. All right,
So,
okay. Anything else? No, not yet?
okay. So now we're going to number 10.
Yeah, Class 2 highway grant submittal.
Abby, you're up.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Again, yeah.
Okay. Keep my camera off because I don't have great service, so. I asked Michael to put before the board the Class 2 highway grant application. This would be for paving on River Road, and also some upsizing of culverts, some ditch work to help bring us into compliance with MRGP standards. The maximum grant amount is $200,000, and the town's match would be either 20% or 10%, depending on if we met certain other requirements. And the match for this would come from our highway paving plan. For FY25, we're putting in a $409,000 appropriation.
So Abby, when you say River Road, this is the section from, it's the.
From the intersection of Route 4 to the town office.
Right, so it's what's already paved. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion for
Yeah.
Public Works.
A couple questions.
Yeah.
So the estimated project would be 476? And
Yes,
the most we could get is 200,000?
yes.
Okay. And was this identified as one of the roads to be done this year?
Yes, this is, yes, for fiscal year 25.
Okay. Cool. And the rest of it, we do have the money in the budget for the remainder? Yep.
So I'm gonna make a motion for the public, to allow the Public Works Director to move forward with the local, Class 2 highway grant submittal. A second.
I would second that.
Okay. I'm just gonna give you a little information since working on the TIF project or whatever and working with Green Mountain Power. Abby, Susan with Green Mountain Power, I'll give you her email tomorrow. They got a hold of me that I think they're looking to bury certain telephone poles along that stretch there. So they would rather go underground instead of having the poles out in the water. So that just came to my thoughts when I'm sitting here. Remember you were talking about, Steve, when we were doing the Beaver Dam stuff? That some of the poles were
They're way out there.
way out there?
They're on there, yeah.
Susan was saying they'd like to get them. I don't know if they still do. That was like 3 months ago, so I'll give Abby the phone, the email tomorrow, but I'll call the question.
Anything further?
Nope.
All in favor of,
Class 2 highway? Aye.
Aye.
Now we're going back up to the Board of Liquor
liquor
Authority.
control? Who's it? Okay.
Okay. I'd like to start down in the middle of the page that are in brackets. These are the special limited event
Okay.
permits. We have the Killington Pico Area Association, their wine festival, July 19th and 20th at K1 Lodge and the Peak Lodge. And the other one is Killington Restaurants, April 20th. They're Dazed and Defrosted, being held at the K1 Lodge. That's an outside consumption.
Make a motion for the town clerk's office to move forward with the 3 items just put in front of us. Vision and I see it.
I'm good with it. All in favor, please say aye.
Okay. The rest of these are all renewals. The first one I have is B&J Ventures, doing business as Liquid Art Coffee House. It's a first, third, and outside consumption.
I make a motion for the town clerk's office to move forward with B&J Ventures, first, third, and outside consumption.
Second, and all in favor?
Aye. I'll make a motion for Glaze Inc., Dominic's Pizzeria, third class tobacco, first class, and outside consumption permit, Becky,
Yes.
for the town clerk's office to move forward with.
Okay, second, and all in favor, please say aye.
I'll make a motion for Huckleberry Holdings, otherwise known as Mary Lou's, for a third class outside consumption permit and first class.
Second. All in favor? Please say aye.
I'm gonna jump down to New World Developments, otherwise known as Summit Lodge, for outside consumption, first class, third class. Town clerk's office to move forward with the licenses.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Sugar Golf Service Company, otherwise known as Vermont National Golf Course, an outside consumption permit, third class and first class. Town clerk's office to move forward with liquor control.
Second, I have a question. We had a couple people that were the golf course company. I'm one of those people, I've never signed anything with the application.
That's coming up, I think, in the next meeting, your minutes or whatever.
Because I know we discussed renting the property,
Right.
and letting them apply for their own permit.
They are, but this is just for the time being, and
Okay,
so.
all right, that was my only question. All in favor of moving forward, please say aye.
I make a motion for the town's clerk office to move forward with Waterview Trading LLC for tobacco substitute endorsement and a tobacco license.
Okay, second, all in favor? Aye. And
I'm gonna make a motion for bulky day approval. I guess each year we come in and we say the dates, and it's May 4th, which is a Saturday, and May 6th, which is a Monday, from the hours of 8 to 4. Once again, bulky day is not garbage, it is
non-hazard.
bulky, well, it's not just plain garbage either, it's bulk items like beds and stuff like that. And so, and there is fees for like refrigerators and freezers and air conditioners and stuff like that, but Jay will have that posted there. I believe, Michael, they started that since condominiums are not allowed to be using the dump, there is a pass that's just for condominiums for just the bulky days, and they can acquire them at that time. So I'll make a motion to move forward with May 4th and May 16th as our bulky day.
Okay, second, all those in favor? Aye. Emergency plan, mutual agreement?
In your packets is the local emergency management plan, the mutual aid agreement. It's also called the LEMP. So a LEMP has to be approved by the select board annually. It helps us receive more funds if we have a disaster like we did in July. It decreases our match. LEMP sounds like something that would be very detailed, that tells you exactly what to do during a disaster, but in fact it's not. It's just a list of contacts. Will Alston, our assistant planner, put this together for us, and the mutual aid agreement just refers back to the equipment that we have called out on our LEMP that can be used if another locality requests so, and it also allows the town to request equipment in the case of emergency.
I'll make a motion for the town manager to move forward with the LEMP
You need a signature.
I can sign it.
municipal adoption form 2024.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, wait. No, that's me too.
No, it says select board member. I'll make a motion for this, the bottom one says print name, select board
Yeah, my
council
apologies.
member. I'll make a motion for Steve Finneran as the chair to sign as the select board member.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alpine Drive sewer one?
Yeah, this is my first time doing this, but like I said, the 4 bills go out annually. The select board approves, normally approves the warrant for the Alpine Drive sewer assessment.
We've got Lucretia here, the one question that I had.
Okay.
Trying to
No, thank you.
find that sheet, Michael.
I can give you a copy if you need it. Should be right after the one.
Lucretia, can you just listen to this here? It says, by the authority of the state of Vermont, you are hereby commanded to levy and collect of the several persons named in the foregoing list herewith committed to you, the sum of money annexed to the name of each person respectively, together with proper penalties, interest, and fees, if that will pay the same to the treasurer of the town of Killington.
So, very simple, the statutes are not very clear. This caused a lot of confusion some years ago. They're not clear when the treasurer is not the collector of taxes. So, and the sample in the statutes is that's all you have to go by, but this town voted for the town manager to be the collector of taxes, so the warrant has to be signed by the select board.
Okay. The way I read it said, and collected the same, meaning
I know.
like double. So now that we got that answer, I'll make a motion first to have the town manager move forward as the collector of taxes for the Route 4 sewer, I believe it is.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. So we're jumping over the class 2 highway grants in there because we already did that.
Yep. Town
So,
hall?
I didn't receive any town hall bids. I think most of the contractors are very busy this summer. The one that did say they could do it in the fall only offered to be a construction manager. And the other company didn't fill out the bid sheet. They gave us an estimate, which was more than what we had budgeted for. So myself and Chad, the architect, are working together on 2 options, after I discuss it with the board, is do a phased approach to construction, or limiting the amount of renovation we do to the upstairs, and instead of permanent walls, we could put in what we've got at the town hall now, just kind of partitions that look like.
So why don't we move that into executive session for contracts, and we'll take it from there. But I do have one question outside. As far as the vault itself, when we got the vault built upstairs at the town hall, did we go out, or was that just one company that builds vaults?
That vault was built by John Russell Corporation. I believe the original vault was as well, but I know the addition was.
Okay.
And probably one of the biggest differences between that vault and the vault in the other building here is that is a 4-hour rated vault because it does not have a structure above it. The one at the new town office site, because there's offices above, had to be rated for 6 hours.
Okay. So John Russell did just the vault?
Yes.
Okay.
And we did 5 direct solicitations, and we also advertised it on the website and in the newspaper.
Do you remember the cost of the vault?
I looked it up. If I recall, it was somewhere around $69,000 to $70,000.
And that was how long ago?
That was in 2002. It was when, Judy passed away.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, well, I'll move the rest of the conversation for contracts into executive session.
Okay,
Interim fire chief.
okay. That's Paul name something?
Paul suggested to me who should be the interim fire chief, just kind of based on his performance and qualifications, and that was Craig Bowman, who's joining us tonight. Craig and I have been working during the transition to kind of keep the department going. We had a going away ceremony. I wouldn't call it a party, well, because he had to leave a lot sooner than we thought. But you know, the department and myself, Selectman Half met with Paul, gave him a plaque. You know, it was very sad to see him go. Paul has a lot of faith in Craig. I also have a lot of faith in Craig, and I'd like to continue. I don't need board approval here or anything, but I'd like to continue to work with Craig, you know, to do a smooth transition, and maybe even give him a chance to, you know, take over the department.
And is there a term, 6 months, a year, with interim before it becomes full-time?
I thought about doing 6 months.
No, that's fine.
I'd just like to bring up that since you and I were on that first hiring, you know, started out on the hiring committee, Craig did have his name in there, so he has the qualifications for it. So, Michael, if you're gonna go with 6 months at this point and do it, then that's your job, and you make the choice from there. We don't hire or fire the fireman. It's your job. So, I've heard good things while Paul was here, okay, but I've also heard that nothing's gone down since. And I'd like to say thank you, Craig, for stepping up and doing it. And, you know, you had that fire up at Whiffletree, I believe, that got inside the wall or whatever. They could have went a lot further, and then you had another fire over by Pico or whatever.
Yes, sir.
You know, so, thanks for stepping up and.
Yep. I've heard the same thing from members of the department as well.
Good.
So it's been very positive with his leadership.
So you work with Michael. I did mention to Michael this morning about the, your question, when we saw each other in the parking lot, the light rescue truck or whatever.
Yeah, Craig and I.
Interim is just an extra word. There's the chief right after it, okay? You gotta keep on moving the fire department forward, and we need that truck, so.
Craig and I are going to meet tomorrow afternoon, go over the capital plan that the board built with Paul when he was still here, and just a few other things, making sure we can, you know, fill the gaps in the department right now.
Yeah, and I'd like to get together with you on the DRB side for the village stuff, that if we see anything coming in from there. Okay? Thanks a lot, Craig.
Thank you.
Do you have
I don't have a formal report. I went on vacation first week in April.
Well, that's a report.
Well, that was good. I'm irresponsibly honest sometimes. So I came back from vacation, was a little in the weeds. But I can give you some updates here, verbally, you know, for the community. Road closure, first up, April 15th, we expect the access road to be closed from Anthony Way throughout Warrant. So that's completely closed. West Hill will be the alternative route. And so Markowski's doing construction down there. They've had to have a traffic plan approved by the engineers, and they've got stakes out so that we can see where everything's going. They should have signs up soon. Also, Selectman Half and I met with the resort 2 weeks ago, and they're going to put a LED sign down on Route 4 in the valley. To
By
let
West
people know.
Hill Road.
Yeah, to let people know they'll drive all the way to the mountain and turn up to the resort or any other businesses along the access road. And we'll do the same coming from Rutland, so that people know the West Hill Road is the primary. The expectation is for that to be closed until July 15th, mid-July. We had a vicious dog hearing. Those take a little bit of prep and then follow up. And then so the attorneys approved the facts and findings. I'll make sure that everything's served and sent tomorrow. Working on easements. Ray Page should have easements back to us here pretty shortly for 1B, and then once that happens, town council will have hard copies of the easements. We can go to the landowners, however method we choose.
Now, is that 1B or is that 1A?
1A.
1A, okay, yeah, because we're not
Yeah.
into 1B. 1B is from Lookout down to Anthony Way.
Yeah.
Okay.
From that
So 1A, like,
Yeah.
and that goes back to
Good
the,
correction.
we don't own the road yet because we're waiting on Ray
Right.
Page for the easements.
Um,
When did he say he'll have that?
He said at the end of March, but I imagine the snow might have slowed him down a little bit.
Okay. So that could answer kind of Andrew's question where we're at.
Abby has actually been awarded 2 projects with FEMA so far. We're the first town to actually get awarded money. It's around $50,000. And,
Great.
but Cat B, for emergency work, FEMA calls it Category B, but it's all the work that we had to do to get the road open for emergency vehicles. We expect a reimbursement of about $1 million. So we're a long way off, but we should.
We're into it for 100 or 50?
Well, we're getting 50 back, 50 of them.
Or 50.
We're about $1 million.
We're $1 million.
We're $1 million. But those bigger projects just take a little bit more time to submit, make sure they're correct. Oh, and we're getting a new project manager next week too, this will be our
For
third.
fee.
Yeah, it'll be our third.
Can you switch over to the, or see if anybody's going to?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll keep on going here. We got 90% plans for 1A. TAP grant, the board is going to have a special meeting. So this is the trail study that we've been doing over here at the intersection of Route 4 and the access road, connecting the trail all the way down to the golf course. We've had a couple public hearings on it. Staff, including myself, has worked pretty hard on finding a feasible path from here to there that avoids everything you can imagine. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll want to hold a special select board meeting, just to kind of get it in front of you guys, and then warn in a public hearing on it. Working with the golf course, I think we're at that special meeting, I might invite the golf course to go over their capital plan like they spoke to us about a couple weeks ago, and then at that same meeting, Chief Montgomery and I go over the recruitment and retainage plan that we've been working on. And we got step 3 loan approval. Finally, we just have to get a letter of opinion from our attorney to the state bond bank, and then once that's done, we can start reimbursing on contract 1 through 3A construction, which
is all
about,
water.
yeah, which is all water. Then Catalyst grant, we actually finally got the grant approval letter for that. I signed it and sent it back today. And then Selectman Half, the last thing I had was, we did have an accident with one of the trucks today. Everybody was okay. The truck did suffer damage. I don't think it was totaled.
That was a dump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other, it was a Sunday or Monday.
So, I went to Trevant, and had a good time.
I went to Dublin,
Yeah.
had a good time.
That concludes my
Great.
manager's report. Thank you.
You, Steve.
Thank you. Anything out here or tuned in that we did not cover?
One simple question. So West Hill Road, I think it's gonna be a tough thing for a tractor trailer loaded to make it up the hill. Is there gonna be a sign that will encourage people to take East Mountain Road instead of West Hill? Because I can totally imagine an unexperienced trucker shifting up the hill and then getting stuck halfway, and then we'll be dealing with the problem.
So the town is working with VHB and with Markowski Group, and they're gonna get the road to a point that one point, it's gonna take a couple of days or a week for them to get that certain tractor trailers will be able to at certain times to get through. But that's also the signs that will be talked about to get other traffic down to East Mountain Road. Because the bus, I'm putting out an email to the bus tomorrow to Ken Putnam. I did see this weekend, they are riding a big bus from the Sky Ship all the way through East Mountain Road, so. So for the
I've heard that
summertime-
before, they've done that.
So the summertime, they can ride the bus up and then get down to, and then go back the other way. It's just gonna be a longer route, and they're gonna have to get their summertime hours to reflect what that time is. But as far as the meeting that us three went into just last week with VHB and Markowski, it was just us, you and I, because it wasn't a one meeting, it was just you and I. Planning and zoning and manager. Markowski, that's what they're in charge of, that's what they're charged with, and you can repeat whatever, but they were talking about getting a lane, that would be,
Yeah, they were very specific, coordinated traffic.
you know.
So if you expect any kind of.
Not show up and go, it could be,
Yeah,
but
they'll let me know.
they're in touch with the resort. And, you know, the Cisco's are gonna know about it and everything else, and they're gonna have to work with Markowski. You know, obviously, they're not gonna let them go through while they're blasting or whatever, so.
And they had to do this with Irene.
Yeah.
It was only pickup trucks and SUVs that were allowed up and down the roads up here. All the semis met at Home Depot or
Yeah.
down here, and then all the other vehicles met them, offloaded and brought it up.
Yeah, this is just gonna be one of those things that Killington forward, moving forward, making the roads better and safer and taking that hump out of there, that 18%, 17% grade. We're gonna have to deal with it for 2 or 3 months, you know. Reminds, I just saw a funny joke the other day. It says, I have a guy talking to a whole group of people in an audience, he says, "Who wants change?" And everybody raises their hand. Who wants to change? Nobody raised their hand. You know, so we've got change coming, and we're gonna get through it, and in the end, it's gonna be for the better of the whole town, so.
In reality, this was scheduled to do the last summer. And so it's not ideal going on right now, but we didn't have a choice.
Yeah, so, but Markowski will deal with that in VHB, and we have another meeting, you and I, with that group, I think on the 22nd, so 1 week after they start doing. I know there was something that went out, and some people don't read all the way through, it started talking about the 8th being today, but there is no talk about the road being shut down this week. Okay, it's next week. Other business?
Do you have any other?
I don't.
Executive session for contracts.
Yep.
Contracts and then personnel.
Okay.
At 7:04.
Okay.